And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly, truly fantastic day today. So, I was scrolling through YouTube the other day, and I came across this segment on First Take with Nick Wright and Chris Broussard, and I can't even remember the other guy's name at the moment. And I believe the actual title of the video was basically that the Bulls and the Cavs refuse to make a trade with the Lakers. Applaud. Round of applause for both of those teams. They refuse to make a trade with the Lakers. And but in the midst of that conversation, Nick Wright brings up maybe one of the most ridiculous things I have heard thus far. Let's take a listen to this clip.
He was musing publicly,
Yes.
if you will.
I think that's fair.
Here's the thing. A huge portion of the NBA media business is about protecting Michael Jordan. So it wouldn't shock me if some of the NBA's actual business that's not about Brew.
I know,
That's not
I'm
about
just
Brew.
saying in general.
right to his face.
In general,
you want me to
it's
say
not
the name?
true. No,
Okay, I disagree.
It's not true.
I disagree. I think that
People would say that half the young, new media protects LeBron.
Okay.
Oh,
You know
man,
what?
it's like-
I'm just
you know
saying.
what, Brew?
I don't
Brew.
think.
And you want to know something?
I think
Kendrick Lamar,
there are
part two.
reporters out there calling
Right,
it like
I
they
think there
see
are
it.
some. You're right, and I agree with you that there is some factions of the media that are invested in protecting LeBron, and I would imagine you would agree with me. There are some factions of the media that are invested in protecting Michael Jordan. It's just my opinion. Maybe he hangs out with them in skyboxes or not, and maybe he's all of a sudden a huge part of the nostalgia of how they came up in the media sports reporting world. Maybe they're all Chicago-based. I don't know. It's just how I've consumed basketball my
I don't even
whole
know
life.
what you're talking about now. Just
Okay, that's what the audience does.
Where
It's
we at?
fine.
Where we at?
To the point that I was trying to make, it would be an absurd way for a team to operate. It wouldn't surprise me because I think Dan Gilbert's a bit of a spiteful guy.
So yeah, you fanboys, Nick Wright being a platinum member of the CFL, you guys are getting more and more desperate. Again, we've talked about this. You guys are getting more and more desperate at your attempts to try to somehow smear the legacy of Michael Jordan. So let's talk about this. He says that there are factions of the media set in place to protect the legacy of Michael Jordan. I have a very, very hard time to believe in that, and this is even more ironic coming from Nick Wright, someone who we know is dedicated to protecting the legacy of LeBron James. I'm not sure why Chris Broussard didn't call that out directly, or maybe he did and I just missed it. But I'm not sure why he didn't say, Nick Wright, you have a vested interest in protecting the legacy of LeBron James. So, but anyway, so yeah, he kind of insinuated, oh yeah, maybe some people he sits in the sky boxes with, or yada, yada, yada. But again, I think that's complete BS and doesn't even make logical sense from so many perspectives. First of all, from a business perspective, it doesn't make sense of why the NBA would want to keep Michael Jordan's name elevated above everyone if it wasn't warranted. Matter of fact, I would say the opposite. The NBA has been trying to replace Michael Jordan since Michael Jordan retired. Everything that has happened since Michael Jordan retired, to me, has been an attempt to replace what Michael Jordan brought to the NBA. And that is the most exciting time of basketball that we have ever lived through. Everything from the repeated comparisons to Michael Jordan, the latest one being Anthony Edwards, again, who I do not think is going to ever reach that magnitude of a Kobe. A lot of people have compared him to D. Wade. And, maybe. But, it's arguable that he may not reach that. But again, I do have to say, so far, I like his attitude. He said some things that are questionable. The whole thing about being tired, that's questionable. Like, you're 22. And again, to me, not to get on a side tangent, but to me, the thing that made Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and Larry Bird and players like this is the fact that, it doesn't matter if you're tired. Your will over everyone else, that's what matters. And to me, Larry Bird and Kobe, MJ, they just had the ability to impose their will on the game. That's what it's about. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Everything they've done, from the comparisons of almost any player that comes out that's athletic, that has any amount of potential to be a great player in the league, they immediately start the comparisons. But not just that. All of these rule changes, to me, have been simply to try to create the same kind of excitement that Michael Jordan created with all those rules in place. See, Michael Jordan didn't need you to take big men out of the paint. Michael Jordan didn't need for you to eliminate hand checking. He didn't need all these rules in place. He didn't need for you to make it pretty much impossible to impede the progress of the offensive player. He didn't need these things to make the game excitement, because Michael Jordan overcame all of these things. Michael Jordan was dunking on 7-footers. Find me a mixtape or a highlight reel of another player who has as many dunks on 7-footers. Because when you watch a lot of these new NBA highlights, a lot of them are wide open. Again, why they play. I was watching something the other day, just yesterday as a matter of fact, where they had players reacting to highlights, and they had D Wade reacting to when he threw the alley-oop to LeBron to dunk on Jason Terry. I'm like, why are you showing that as if that was something to even gloat about? I mean, I understand Jason Terry was a big trash talker, but at the end of the day, Jason Terry beat you in 2011. What is that dunk supposed to prove? What is dunking on Jason Terry supposed to prove? Anyway, but yeah, Michael Jordan didn't need all of these rule adjustments to dominate the game. But I feel like all these rule changes have taken place because no one was able to do it like Michael Jordan. And no one was able to create that excitement, so they start amending the rules to try to create that excitement that Michael Jordan brought. So yeah, to me, they have been trying to replace Michael Jordan since Michael Jordan left the NBA. And it is in the best interest of the NBA to have the modern product be the most popular. Because to me, all forms of entertainment thrive on the younger fan base. The younger fan base is who's really gonna go out and support. Like, I know, don't get me wrong, I'm sure some old LeBron James fanboys too. But I have a feeling, just by how you guys comment in my comments and make incoherent statements, that a lot of LeBron James fan base is the younger generation. Anything in entertainment to me caters to the younger fan base. I've been going back to the movies lately. Recently I went and saw The Planet of the Apes. But one thing I've been realizing when I've gone to the movies lately is like, I don't recognize any of the stars. It's not the stars that, when I was going to the movies when I was younger or even 10 years ago. I felt like I always recognized somebody in the movie, like the stars of our generation, the movie stars of our generation, the TV stars of our generation. But a lot of times I go to the movies now and I don't recognize anybody. It's the same with music. Music is a little different. Number one, because I'm in music, so I keep up with it a little more than other things. But you know, it's a lot of these young kids that I just don't recognize, and be honest, don't really have a interest in recognizing, because I think the music has just taken a dive from having any kind of substance. But again, so going back to the NBA, it behooves the NBA to promote the younger stars. So this idea that they will have somebody in the media protecting Michael Jordan, please, this is ridiculous. Especially when we know the unlimited amount of people in the media who is trying to promote, not just protect LeBron James, but actually promote false narratives about LeBron James, and Nick Wright being one of those people. But really everybody. It's like everybody in the mainstream media, for the most part, to some degree, is always capping for LeBron. Because even the people who will criticize LeBron, most of those people say LeBron is number 2. Stephen A. Smith. I think Chris Broussard, if I'm not mistaken, maybe even Skip Bayless is bought in, or maybe he's always said that LeBron James is number 2. But yeah, all these guys have some kind of interest in keeping LeBron near the top. And then of course you got Kendrick Perkins and, you know, Jason Williams, and I mean the list goes on. Keyshawn Johnson. What was the guy who Paul Pierce replaced on what Undisputed? What was it? Sherman somebody. Or maybe his last name was Sherman. But anyway, yeah, all these people are capping for LeBron. And with all this capping, the ironic thing is that you never hear from Michael Jordan. You never hear from Michael Jordan. To think that Michael Jordan cares enough that he would actually have people in the media protect him. I think the only thing we hear from Michael Jordan, occasionally you will hear Stephen A. say, oh yeah, I got a text from Michael Jordan. He wanted me to mention this. I think it's, again, to protect the standards of the game, which this is why this channel exists. This is why a lot of these channels exist. Shout out to Angry Old Hoops. Shout out to Sports and Fitness Reds, Phenomenal Fitness, Retro Heat Check, Uncut Hoops. Michael Jordan fans are the best. You know, this is what these channels are about. It's like, judge these players by the same standards. Don't lower the standards to try to make them greater than what they are. You know, don't give them props for being more skilled when the game is easier. Again, you can't truly judge how much more skilled they are. Yeah, you can say on the court they look more skilled because, well, then you would have to take into account that they're allowed to carry nowadays. But you can say on the court, yes, it looks like most of these players have better handles. But again, you're not getting hand checked. How good are your handles if someone has their hand on you, steering you to where they want you to go? That's a different thing. I guarantee you can't do all those moves when someone is doing that to you. That's what really separates the elite. Is people who can do those moves under the most adverse of circumstances. You know, don't tell me about these players' jumping ability when they're dunking in the wide open lane. When you see John Starks come down and dunk on Horace Grant, you know, someone who's bigger and taller than him. I was just watching the old Lakers game the other day and watch Byron Scott come down and dunk on somebody. So it's not like these players weren't unathletic. It's like most people, and I would say the same, that it would be the same for these players today. If these players had to deal with a congested paint, where the 7-footers, where their job was to protect the rim and not be out on the perimeter shooting 3-pointers, if these shorter players had to deal with a congested paint, you would not see as near as many dunks. That's what separates the elite, is those players who could do that, who could come down the lane in a congested paint with 2-3 people in the paint and still get off. So yeah, but anyway, we gonna hold up here, but I think we all know. Again, this is just the desperation of the CFL the 4 and 6 kingdom to really try to, you know, right now they're just pushing any and every kind of ridiculous narrative that they can possibly get to. It's like when Gilbert Arenas insinuated that Michael Jordan must be on PEDs. It's like anything that you say about LeBron, now they're trying to go back and say it about MJ. But again, that doesn't make sense from a business standpoint for the NBA. Again, in all entertainment, the goal is to promote the newest best thing because you're appealing to the younger fan base. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think about Nick Wright and his ridiculous take that there are some factions of the media in place to protect Michael Jordan's legacy? Let me assure all of you fanboys that Michael Jordan's legacy has always and will continue to speak for itself. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly, truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.